Why am I Oh, hello!
Oh my god, they can hear us now?
I think they can hear us now.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the EGFC Power Series Valorant. This is a
Valorant.
series of 3 preliminary tournaments and 1 series final tournament by invitation only. So everyone you see here today is part of the Cool Kids Club. They were invited. They got a Smash type email, invited to the entire Smash Bros. Roster. Today's tournament format, folks, is going to be double round robin. Each map is just going to be a best of one. So you're going to be cycling through the teams today, getting to see a glimpse of different types of Valorant play. If you're unfamiliar with round robin, it's essentially that each team in a group plays every other team in that group, with certain exceptions. Some teams get to sit out during a specific match time. Of course, some of these matches may not be played on stream. I believe we have two scheduled to be just done while we're casting another. So everything goes smoothly. But for now, the two teams we have, Artie, why don't you introduce them for us?
Absolutely. We're going to be seeing the immortal team of Wichita State University up against the Diamond Marquette. Now, that might sound like a big skill diff, but I think it'll be a lot more of an even matching than we might be seeing for the rest of today's matches, although most of our games will be filled with that Diamond and Immortal shimmer that we all love to see here at Valorant. And I think that with Wichita and Marquette's long and storied history across FPS titles, Overwatch, CS:GO, Valorant, I think that these two teams are more than ready. We've seen Wichita, you and me have seen Wichita on broadcast quite a bit actually over the last couple of years. And well, Marquette, I'm familiar with their CS:GO squad. Excited to see what their Valorant squad can bring to the table.
More than excited to figure that out. But for now, let's take a gander at the maps, Artie. It looks like pretty standard bans across the board, but I am surprised to see Ascent out of that pool. I want to say for the best of one series, it's a very common map to see, but another one is Bind, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that that's on the table. And so
Uh
I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, it's had a lot of shifts in meta, has had a lot of discussion around this map, especially in the higher scenes of competition. I wonder what these colleges have going for us today.
Definitely. Over here in the sands of Morocco, I think that Bind has quite a bit of life that has been breathed into it recently, especially with the last two agent releases. That being said, I'm curious as how we will see these two teams stack up. Will we see that bog standard what we've been used to since release, since beta with Bind, or are we going to be seeing some new compositions here? It looks like we are going to be going for a little bit more of a modern composition. See Yoru and Astra, not necessarily new agents, but in relation to this map, we are going to be seeing not really Yoru being used too much since his change, but absolutely fun to see something like that. Although Marquette is going to have to rely
Oh,
on a good sentinel pick here as they're starting on defense, and I'm not sure if Chamber is a good sentinel pick for Bind personally.
wait, um, did you? I think you just glanced over the Yoru pick. I mean, I know you stated it, but his buff is not quite out yet. They got a coach in the coaching slot. I have some question as to how they're going to be navigating this map. I understand that Yoru has a lot of trickery afoot with the teleporters for sure,
Choose your
but when
agent.
it comes to initiators, no one makes as much space as Jet. Raze can definitely zone players off and displace them from the initial angles, but to have that raw entry power, you're going to need that wind radiance, and neither team is going to be implementing her. So definitely something new.
Two
Uh,
Chambers.
and Chamber.
I still don't know how I feel about Chamber on Bind, but here I guess we'll see how much use it will be. Big difference here as well is going to be that Viper pick over on Wichita. That is definitely the way that you want to go. Both teams will be settling out with Sova as their main initiator. That being said, we got Wichita here without a Yoru, and Marquette with a Yoru. I don't know who's the buff here.
So I want to talk about Chamber's ability to teleport between sites already. I think that's really the main reason both of these teams are opting to bring him in store. It would be because that if you place one of the teleporters in the side cubby by the barrel on B site, and then one in U-Haul, you can actually go between the two. So if you feel that you want to start a default defense, you want to be ready for anything, a chamber can go ahead and set themselves up to go to the other
Scanning
side at
ahead.
a moment's notice. And it's kind of the advantage that Chamber holds over Cypher is that sure, while Cypher can anchor, he's certainly immobile once he's set up.
Very true. Lots and lots of teleporting here with Bind. Two teleporters and a Yoru and two chambers. We're going to be a little bit miffed here as far as seeing people go all across. With that being said, the very first kill is going to go to Marquette's chamber here. Crotify standing ground with the classic there. However, over on Wichita State, we're looking at Pizzasaurus getting ready to use that headhunter over on B. Wichita is sort of poking and prodding at all of their lanes, not necessarily around mid and hookah.
Tours
They
in
don't want
order now.
to poke that beast just yet. But checking out with this push over into B side, it looks like they are getting a little bit more success on their entry. They are going to have to worry about Dog sitting on the sidelines here. Pizzasaurus not worried at all. Going to be able to get right out of harm's way after picking up the kill. But Stevo is going to get a refrag. That will leave Marquette with a one-man advantage
30
here.
seconds
Only
left.
30 seconds left on the clock. Wichita needs to entry soon. Pizzasaurus picks up one more kill. Atsu doing what he can to hold it off. But that Viper Puddle is making it impossible for him to come up and do anything against that plant. All members of Wichita are just one bullet away from death here. I'm so scared for them. But here we go with Marquette coming in. It's Crotify taking out Pizzasaurus, taking out the other chamber. Truman comes all the way around the back, picks up one, gets taken out just up to Thiessen and 4 HP. Blades is going to be shutting that down. And the pistol round goes to Marquette University with a steadfast defense.
Today, I'm afraid.
I got really scared there for Wichita State as, you know, losing the first player so early on. I mean, it is a little bit standard for the attackers to, of course, drop a body here and there on the pistol round, but they were so spread out. I mean, with a double up towards B long and then one player towards A showers and another A short, and the spike sitting all the way in their spawn cave. To me, with 40 seconds left on the clock, it felt like there were few options, and I think it really bit them in the posterior to leave the spike there for so long, have no control of it, and then I guess expose themselves by showing no presence over to the A side, despite dispersing themselves in that direction. Now, this time around, we're going to see a full stack towards the short, not just by Wichita State University, but by the utility of Marquette.
Atsu
And
in
how
a
we go.
beautiful position here. Going to be able to pick up 3 as Blades picks up 1 on their own here. It's just Kaba backing up. The classic in hand. Not much to lose here. Just going to be sending it as Atsu picks up a 4K. Ashcon, listen, beautiful analysis of that setup and that entire play that was getting ready to be made. Atsu left clicked and suddenly the round was over faster than the buy round.
Yeah, that turned into a funnel, and with the Viper's wall elongating it, I think it started to resemble C Long on Haven. And at the end of the day, with the wall, you know, being able to be shot through, yeah, it ended up in the favor of Marquette, and they just leveraged those specters towards victory. Natsu is going to show off their aggression once more here, using their teleport as a safe anchor. The issue with that is the animation for yours teleport is quite the long one, similar to Chamber that if you still get shot, you may not get out alive. You have to kind of be ready to get behind a corner. You need some fancy footwork. You can't take that teleport in the middle of a gunfight with someone's crosshairs lined on your head. Now, Thiessen is trying to use these blast packs to zone the defense away. He knows Atsu is close.
This is when Atsu uses all of Yoru's utility. We see the teleport getting sent out yet again, just to possibly take him out backside in case he needs it. Like Atsu is creeping up, getting ready to peek out with Crotify. You see that communication coming through in their footsteps. But Wichita, they've decided, A, that is where they need to be. It's where they need to go. We got two coming in over through bathrooms. Pizzasaurus going to be executing out first. Gets right out of dodge.
30
Protify
seconds
as
left.
well will also be teleporting out to hold out to bathrooms here. We see Viper getting ready to puddle through. Truman will be picking up that first kill here, and Wichita executes, and it works out. Marquette just down to the last two defenders as they have to now retake the site from Wichita. That being said,
Spike
Wichita,
planted.
they've been getting these plants down. Marquette's been getting these retakes, but now with a 3-man advantage, this could be the one that Wichita finally takes. They are holding very strong here with their buys. And they've got a big weapon difference to them. Teason and Jeem just cleaning up shop there. Both 2 kills each as Wichita picks up a flawless round 3.
Oh, that's gotta hurt Marquette. I mean, a flawless round 3 on that buy round means that Wichita State University are at no threat to their economy, and that's really the purpose of the bonus round. There's, you got Spectres, rifles are coming at you. You're not expected to win the round, of course, that would be the best case scenario. Rather, you want to just get rid of 3 firearms in the hands of your enemy so that they're forced. Because if you look at the economy right now, not everyone would have the potential to buy a rifle. That's the position they wanted to put Wichita in, but it's not the one that they were able to execute. So now you're going to see both teams lined up with full rifles across the board. Once again, a lot of utility stacks towards A short. It's a very popular place to execute strategies where teams rehearse their utility drops, but that's going to be completely denied with the way that Marquette has set up not just the chamber utility, not just your utility, but also the Astra stars on top of it, which are dangerous because there's no communication necessary once that chamber trademark pops. And speaking of chamber, they're seeing some presence here alongside the gravity well is a Viper's Bite, and it's Jeem who's going to perish Artie.
Great stuff here by Crotify. That is textbook chamber. And I guess, just anything with teleports goes on bind. I guess it's going to work out. Watching now with Teason just holding the line, waiting for Stevo to make a mistake here. We will see the grenade come through, but no, they are still waiting to find out where their entry point will be. Looks like Wichita, after they dropped their first member
30
over on
seconds
A
left.
site, they did decide to go over to Hookah Atsu, getting some great information there with that Yoru ult. Love to see that here. Good flash as well, too. Will be blinded. Yoru going to be picking up 3. Pulls out the shorty for the 4th. Oh, Atsu, you glorious, glorious person.
He's hot.
That's the second 4K, and we're only on round 5.
That is, he pops the ultimate, comes right out of it, and then immediately 4 to 6, just 2 more points to use it again. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing a glimmer of genius in this strategy to use that ultimate to bind is notorious for the teleporters being the only way to rotate between the sites quickly enough for it to counter a push or retake the site, and to utilize yours ultimate to safely traverse that side of the map. Now that is genius that I was not expecting, but unfortunately this time around Yoru is going to be put into another dimension very early on, and with a minute 20 left on the clock, Marquette's defensive numbers are dwindling by the second.
Teason picks up the first kill here, and now Wichita is once again in that position where they've got a 3-man advantage. These are the rounds in Wichita wins, and as they get that spike planted, Stevo is finding themselves in a very hard position, but all 3 push around. Stevo does not care. Left clicks all 3 of them, even with just 34 HP. Now it's up to Truman to try and cancel this defuse here. Not going to be able to find it, even though his teammates are pinging out. Just not going to work. They planted not for Hookah. So being able to retake from Hookah just not going to work. If only there were some Viper puddles left. But wow, that was not the round that Marquette should have won. But here we are.
I mean, the tides turn in their favor, and that's going to hurt. It's going to be no guns for the side of Wichita State University, but they don't have to fret because they're one off of that showstopper, and the orbs can very easily be taken by the hands of the attacking side on bind. Just a little bit of utility to zone off this chamber that they know is there. Speaking of chambers, you're going to hear the voice line for
Let's
the tour
go.
de force being popped by the side of Wichita
Listen
as
up.
well. But Atsu is still going to be a smoke criminal and push right around the corner for the initial frag.
Wichita, whenever they lose one on that opener, it just doesn't go well for them. Marquette on paper is a slightly less abled team, sitting at a team rank of diamond here versus Wichita's Immortal 3. But we've got Marquette just absolutely holding the line here. Pete Source will be able to get a
Oh,
refrag, and Thiessen as well brings us into a one-man advantage for Wichita.
listen up.
There we go. As Crotify goes down as well, that will be eliminating a little bit of defense out here. And as Truman comes through to go for the Viper's Pit, Wichita has the site on lock, and now as the spike rotates in, we will be getting the plant. Marquette
30
is
seconds left.
on their last line
Last
here as they
player
try to push
standing.
through. That they're not going to be able to
Obscuring
push
vision.
up against
Spike planted.
Easton's hold
Thrifty.
and Pizza Source's tour de force. Great stuff here as Wichita picks up their second round. It is now 4-2.
And don't discount them just yet. Remember, 4-2, but that round they just picked up was a thrifty. They spent the tour de force to do it, but not the showstopper. That's still going to be in their back pocket. They're ready to pick up a free opening frag, and on top of it, they can use the Cosmic Divide to deny the sound of the teleporters. Fun fact, if both sides of the teleporter are across the wall from you, you cannot hear them. With the same rules of course, normal sound. Close enough, makes the difference. But that is a strat that we constantly see teams in the higher tier use. Whole lot of presence on one site, usually A, just to teleport right on over to B. But in the meantime, forget about strategy. It's just
One
raw
enemy
gunplay
remaining.
as 3, no, 4 of the defense have already fallen. And it's a lone Astra. Steve-O has to make magic happen. And although they're quite the playmaker, I
Spike
don't know if they
planted.
can do this with just a Sheriff Hardy. Two kills for the board. Thiessen is going to fall right after their teammate being headshot, and it's going to be a reload out of Truman. And they pick up their third round.
Oh, I was muted that entire time. See, that is my bad. Okay, so we saw the 2K come through that sheriff. The thing is, that 2K is going to be a little bit important. We can see that Thiessen and Jeem are a little bit strapped for cash in this round here. They are still able to pick up a full buy, and unfortunately, they also still have their ultimates. So Marquette, it wasn't a do or die situation. However, if Marquette is able to pick up this one, that economy difference from 2 rounds before will actually see a massive play. But if they win, that is if.
They found my trap.
I like the way that Truman is so wary of these traps, but Karadify not willing enough to get out of the range of their teleporter to take an early swing, and they're going to be punished for it.
Fire in the hole.
Truman is just expecting the off angles from those slippery chamber players, and just as we think Atsu is going to be able to teleport away, that showstopper is going to get rid of them as well, Artie.
Beautiful showstopper play, especially on Atsu. That is such an important player to take out here. Unfortunately, though, Thiessen will go down as Blades picks up a double on a Thiessen Kaba. We now find ourselves in a 3v3. Both Astras still up. We see lots and lots of astral utility popping. We see Blades pulling out their own showstopper. Will it be able to find? No, it will not. Wichita is backed all the way up into their main here into short. But as Jeem goes down, Wichita might not
One
be able to
enemy
come through with this
remaining.
retake. Truman gets one refrag, but the spike is halved. Truman needs to move fast. Not going to be getting revealed here, but they will be getting taken out. And we will see Marquette come through. And this is where that 2K from the round before is going to prove importance.
All right, Steve-O now is going to be 1-0 or 1 off of the Cosmic Divide, meaning that they can deny a push as well as a rotation. But unfortunately for Marquette, they're not going to have any other pieces of utility to implement. Meanwhile, as long as Wichita gets onto the site, Viper's Pit is going to enable them to kind of carry on through and ensure the post plant. I think the matter is also, I want to point out, Wichita State aren't willing to take the back half of A site. I've noticed this pattern for the past few rounds is they're more than willing to front load, take that first bit from the site as well as U-Haul, but not going all the way up to the back cubby by pipes. And I think that's really what's biting them in
Revealing
the
area.
posterior and enabling a full retake by Marquette for some of these A site retakes. Now, we're approaching B is what it seems, but a solo raise Thiessen. All they got to do is throw out the paint shells to zone the area, but right now they're just holding on to it, waiting for who knows what.
Both teams are just waiting for the other to make a mistake right now, and it is going to be Atsu not getting ready enough as Atsu drops down. But Wichita will be losing one member, able to refrag. We still have a one-man advantage for Wichita.
I need
Now,
concealment.
this execute is going to be everything. Marquette, even though they are down 2 players, they still have everything unlocked. Astra, the only member on B side, though, that's the weak point. Wichita going to be trying to execute. They find exactly where Steve is playing from, and this is going to make everything easy. Thiessen just threw that smoke, going to be able to get the kill, and now all Wichita has to do is prevent entry, which is obviously going to be coming from back site. They don't even need to play on the site. They back out into Garden, and it's just going to be a pretty much given for them on this one here. Kaba going to be trying to get some information for how to make this push, but when you are a 2v4 on this retake here, getting into this site is not easy.
Player standing.
Oh, the pop-off right alongside the gravity well. The blast back out to ensure that it's a wide enough angle to confuse the diffusers. And that's going to ensure an attacker side post-plant, Wichita State really chasing Marquette for these rounds back and forth, not allowing them to take more than a 2-round lead.
Should I play some stars in this reality?
It's going to be Steve-O with the Cosmic Divide in hand, but with no weapons to back it up, I really don't think they're going to implement it. They're just going to have to stack. I think in these kinds of a round that we don't normally see, when the defense is stuck for cash, strapped for cash, they need to get together, stack up 2 or 3, and we're going to see that A short. But at the end of the day, it needs to be in those off angles. I think most teams are going to expect the players stuck on pistols are going to take the shortest angle possible. And so you see Wichita State University approach A short, but with care. And so Thiessen and Kaba are going to burst out, each already finding one. And so I think it's less a matter of an aim duel and more so a matter of expectation that they were reading the minds of Marquette's defense for that round. And now, I think for the first time, the round score is tied up, Artie.
Yeah, Wichita, they've been learning from Marquette. They've been seeing what the play is. They've been trying to figure out how Marquette has been holding on to A here. And, well, they've cracked the code, and now Wichita is holding not only W, not only holding left click, but they're holding our hearts, Ashcon, as they bring us back. This scoreline is looking to close into a 7-5 at this half, but they still got 2 more rounds before that, and anything could happen if Marquette just changes it up a bit. We do see Dog actually peeking out from Garden onto the long, and it looks like that might be a good thing. Usually they don't dedicate too much energy over to B site here, but this is when Wichita has decided that they're going to be pushing a little bit more energy over through Hookah. Wichita does lose their first member here, and that is making things a little bit hard. But Thiessen can make life a little bit harder. Unfortunately, though, missing all of that utility. Looks like they've almost forgotten that you can't throw utility through that Cosmic Divide. Wichita State is actually going to be hankering now for anything. They've got 2 members remaining. Truman going to be fighting for their life in this Viper's Pit here, even though they took a few bullets, still holding their ground and making sure to not give it away just yet. If I could try to teleport in here. Truman doesn't even need to see, takes him out, but it is going to be the Marquette win here. Wichita, that dream of 7-5 has slowly slipped away from them.
All right, so we got 6-5 built up the round, dropping Wichita State University. They need to pick up this to tie the half. it was essential for them to pick up that 11th round. Had they done it, it would have would have braked,
Braked,
breaking,
broked,
brewed, broked, shattered. Let's
earth
just use
shattered.
other yummy, yummy. No. Anyways, the economy for Marquette just would have been out of commission, and this round would have gone to the state of Wichita. But for them to drop round 11 means round 12 is not in their hands anymore. It's an even-ish playing field. There's still a Spectre in the hands of Marquette. But I guess it doesn't matter. With one less player, it's going to ease the entry. The pressure is going to be off their shoulders, and with no one defending the B site, it's free real estate.
This is what I was talking about. Usually, you know, Marquette, they've just got a solo body on B site. And Wichita hasn't really been aggressing it too much, but they finally found out when that's happening. And here we go. Atsu going to be going for that informational play yet again with the dimensional drift. Unfortunately, though, he is going to be a little bit far from any sort of play that could be made right now. Tries to flash himself in, hits the wall, not able to go through. And there he goes. Unfortunately, though, he missed the fact that G was to his left. What an unfortunate play. We will now see Wichita with a 2-man advantage, and as Blades and Stevo start to clean up house, it becomes a 2-on-2. Blades getting another one. It's just Truman right now holding the line. The defuse will come through. Truman through the box, takes out Stevo. It's just going to be Truman versus Blades, and Blades goes down as the spike detonates. It's 6-6. The score line has been tied up, and we come into this second half clean.
A dead even half, and for Marquette University, a great showing of how Yoru can be applied to the defense. I'm still stuck on the fact that they pulled out the ultimate just to ride on through the teleporters and enable a safe travel for themselves. But now I'm wondering what they're going to do on the attack. I have questions. Of course, Raze can double satchel in. We were watching Marquette, Wichita do the exact same thing. But to not have someone right behind to trade in the way that maybe Jet can, that's probably going to be a struggle for them. What Wichita State was doing was enabling themselves by getting a first pick, and that took off the tension for themselves. If Marquette doesn't default, which we're not seeing, they're going to have a huge difficulty breaking through the initial defenses.
The Atsu, you know, the Yoru team flash is something that you always like to see. But I'm actually very, very happy that Marquette decided to go for the Yoru, because right now we see Yoru on attack, and Yoru on attack is a completely different beast than Yoru on defense. And so, you know, it was kind of a gamble to see how that defense Yoru would play out here, especially combined with the chamber. Just lots of teleports. But now that we've got them on attack, this is going to be a lot different of a pace than we saw last time. That being said, the pace right now is that Marquette is waiting to pick something up. Wichita just got the first frag and the second frag. Possibly going to be seeing the third frag here, but here's Marquette going for it. Nope, they pick up nothing as team just left clicks. Beat the source as well. Wichita go for a flawless pistol round here, and what a solid defense by them.
And you know, with comes the first round pistol win, the Spectres follow, and that's going to be Wichita State University. But on top of the Spectres, it looks like Pizzasaurus is thinking about that Guardian buy, and I respect it. It's been recently buffed alongside the Bulldog, and the accuracy reset is a much greater, much faster. And I believe, if I'm remembering the facts correctly, it's going to be 2 to 3 shots straight forward. The Guardian is the most accurate rifle available to you in the shop for 2250 credits. And that's going to be 2 body shots for a kill for these players that have no armor. But it doesn't seem like any Guardian kills are going to be defending the sites. It's just going to be Spectres spraying down and cleaning up everyone in B-Long for, I think, the fastest round we've seen yet, Artie.
Ashcon, I respect it. You know, I love talking about the Guardian. It's so good. It's so underrated, even after its buffs. It's not utilized nearly enough. But Ashcon, there's a reason that the Guardian is not always picked, and that is because of something that we just saw. Spectre go brr, Ashcon.
Spectre do go burst. There's a shocking amount of success despite it being nerfed with the running gun, as well as the long range accuracy being severely diminished, and yet teams are still able to utilize its mid-range to its fullest potential. But finally, it comes onto the board with
There we go.
Pizzasaurus over on the A side, getting rid of Atsu, and that's one duelist down for the count.
And that duelist is not just any duelist. It wasn't the Rays, it was the Yoru. And that, I believe, is a little bit more important for Wichita here. Marquette losing their Yoru, who has been really active in all these plays with the teleport, with the just confusing of the enemy. Losing that Yoru is going to make entering a little bit hard, even though they still have Rays and all of the utility that comes with that. Pizzasaurus getting out of dodge just in time. That was beautiful to see. We are going to be seeing a lot more aggressive defense coming through from Wichita as they lose Kaba as well. It will be a 4v4, but Chamber is in just a single toe stub till death territory. We got Truman taking out Stevo, and right now it is going to be a fight for life as Pizzasaurus holds the back of that site with the Guardian. Looks like it will work
30
out.
seconds
Marquette
left.
will need to back off. Unfortunately for Dog, though, 21 HP. It's going to be a little bit difficult to come through here, especially after you give away your position. But that position giveaway wasn't for nothing. Truman, now revealed, going to try to figure out when to jump peek, but Pizzasaurus has already made the rotate. We will see a 1v2 come through. At the very least, it'll be a trade. It's not even going to be that. Truman gets the shot off onto Dog. It's 6-9.
I really think that there was an overcommitment by Marquette there. Wichita State had no grounds to win the round, and yet they pull it out regardless. And it came down to a matter of sitting at the outside of a site for way too long. The teleporter is there for a reason. You can fake an exit into the site and then immediately transfer. And the hot swap came, but a little bit too late, leaving Dog entirely alone. And Truman is acting as a true anchor. They're not going to be leaving anytime soon just because there's a little bit of noise. So there needs to be a lot more to displace the teams, the players on B site.
Would you say that he's a true man? Truman?
He's definitely a real man.
Definitely uses
Like he
he, him pronouns.
exists, like existing. Out comes the sheriff shots outside of the double blast pack, but Thiessen is not going to have any of that. That's Apex Legends level tracking,
One enemy
and they're
Oh,
going to be
the
good for
PK.
3 on top of it. They're just playing around this box already.
Chronify got the headhunter, but the only heads that will be hunted is his own here. Although he will pick up one against Pizzasaurus. So, you know, good for one, but what is one good for? As Wichita just decides after a pretty rough first half that they're just going to run away with this one here. They haven't dropped one yet. Although, if Caster's Curse says anything, me now saying that breathes new life into this world.
You got really philosophical for a second there, Artie. And I think I've entered into a midlife crisis in my 20s. So thank you for that, I guess.
there.
You know, I don't know when the middle of my life will be, so I've decided to have an ongoing crisis after.
Yeah. All right. All right. I like that. I like that. Right now, it seems like Marquette is. We're in a bit of a Groundhog Day. There's funneling all their utility towards one site. They have maybe a lurker in the other direction. And then they just wait outside of the site that they're approaching for way too long. They don't rotate, and Blades dropping this early without a buddy means that no refrag potential is there. And it's one less player for Marquette University. And now that Yoru has teleported back, Atsu is here on the scene. They're going to fake a teleport with the footsteps. Waiting for that sound to trigger. Maybe not.
I believe he right-clicked it and waiting to trigger
Ah,
that
there we
as
go.
well.
There you go.
But we've, you know, we've really run into this wall here with Marquette. They totally could have entered that site if they had just coordinated a little bit more with the utility. But that lack of coordination led to a single kill that was worth nothing. Jeem through the wall avoids lots and lots of bullets here. And we see Wichita still holding their raise over to A site to make sure there's no lurkers because of that Yoru fake teleport. They're a little bit confused, but they got the spirit. We've got Marquette now with a spike down, and this is the strongest round Marquette has had yet, and they are still -1. It is going to be a 4-on-3 now. Atsu gonna try to make this corner here up against Kaba as he teleports, almost gets taken out down to just 10 HP. Kaba already gonna be on the runaround, and it looks like Marquette really will be able to hold this out. Pizzasaurus doing whatever he can, but turns the corner with his knife out, not seeing Stevo. Marquette picks up their first one. And hey, I caster's cursed it, but at least I called the caster's curse.
Yeah, I think holding ourselves accountable definitely aids the overseeing force of fairness, I guess. That things swung back into the favor of Marquette, and I mean, just taking a look at their economy, their ult economy, they have all the tools necessary to spiral forward as well. So maybe you've done a little bit more than just one round already. Tour de Force can easily be popped to snowball the advantage, but Wichita State have similar utility in their own pockets.
Both tutor forces have been popped right now. Pizzasaurus, unfortunately, though, gonna not be getting anything out of it as Crotify is going to come out on top. Marquette, one-man advantage. We will see a Cosmic Divide coming through. Siva waiting for the right time to pop it.
You are divided.
And there we go. The divide has happened. Jeem holding in. Only member of Wichita that is on this side of the wall here. Teeson doesn't need to be. Teeson coming through, going to be able to pick up a 3K immediately. That wall not even getting pushed by Marquette.
One enemy
Absolutely unfortunate here, and as Crotify goes down as well, it's just up to Blades, who holds in the back, just having given their position away, getting completely aggressed on. Wow, somehow the Spectre working up against the Phantom here. We will see the grenade come back. Jeem is not going to be taking any damage from it, though. Blades has a 1v3 potential right now, but unfortunately a singular stray bullet from Truman's Phantom will shut that down. And Wichita is back on their wins.
I mean, really, it is the Truman Show, so you can expect everything to go in his favor, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the all the cameras that we see. Even though Cypher isn't here, we still got lots of cameras for Truman.
Absolutely. And also, a second question for you, Artie. Pizzasaurus, I assume, is a dinosaur made of pizza, but is it a pizzasaurus? Source,
What?
you know, like is it a source of
What?
pizza?
Saurus.
Is a pizzasaurus a source of pizza? You know.
Whether or not the dinosaur made of pizza is Italian themselves, I'm not sure if that is anything here, but what we do see is a dog using a bow and arrow, and that dog has a hunter's fury. It's going to be able to pick up one here, but Teeson gets a refrag onto Blades, and now we're going to be checking this 4v4 through. The spike is planted, but Wichita, they've got two ults. They could come through for a retake at any time. Atsu coming through with the aggressive hold. Wichita has made very little progress, but they're finally onto the site here. Truman taking out Stevo, and Teeson and Truman getting ready to push up through Hookah. Pizzasaurus now on the site. Atsu locked in the back here. Pizzasaurus going to make sure that no one can come through. Unfortunately, though, Crotify teleports and gets all the way behind, and we will see Marquette holding onto the site for just a little bit longer. Looks like Teeson's not going to be able to get the time right now. Last ditch effort, but it just won't work.
I love that timing by Crotify to recognize the paint shells. The purpose were to zone themselves off of the angle to enable at least a halfway defuse. And instead of falling into the tempo that Teeson wanted, they go for the swing, understanding that there will be a line of sight. It's guaranteed. Teeson needs to make sure of it, but isn't expecting it. And so that hesitation, that lack of expectation is going to enable the fight to go in Crotify's direction, and that's going to mean the round for Marquette. But Wichita State is really crawling their way to victory, slowly but surely. It's just getting ever closer with the first blood here, Artie.
Yeah, Yoru made a mistake, and that was peeking out 1v3. Dog is going to be good for the refrag, but Jeem is holding close. Dog is ready for it, though. Will be able to pick up another, but Pizzasaurus does get a trade out. And now we're sitting 3v3. No
Concealment.
progress has been made as far as advantages. Stevo will be getting revealed by this Owl drone here, as well as Blades. They both have just been revealed here. So Truman holding true. We'll see if they can hold this out. Kaba takes out Crota5. Marquette, you're just down to the last two members, which everybody knows that you're playing from Hookah. Blade's going to be throwing that grenade, and Truman actually plays into the nade here again with the zoning. And as Blades also picks up the spike, it's going to be Pizza Source coming in from the back. And we will see Wichita bringing us into match point here. What a beautiful play.
Match point.
I think Truman had a botched surgery where their entire body got filled with magnets, and they couldn't resist walking towards the paint shells. I see what they were doing. They thought the paint shells were being tossed into their corner, which 100% they should have been, and so they were anticipating that by running into the barrel they would have been safe. But I think both players forgot that paint shells bounce, and so that really was the death of Truman in that scenario. Regardless, it is now match point. Wichita State looking to take the game home, but Marquette, they're trying to hold on for dear life. The issue with them is not a lot of life. When you don't have any weapons, Dog is going to be the first to fall.
Thiessen with a beautiful opening frag. This is going to make this round even harder for Marquette here. Blades trying to not waste their effort here and push in. Pizza Source holding the line right now. Beautiful stuff here. Atsu is just waiting for the right time to strike, but corner peeking like that just tells Pizza Source, hey, I'm still here, and you don't get any information in return. We'll see Truman taking out Blades here, and as all the frags begin to come through, Atsu does actually get a weapon upgrade here as Thiessen gets a little bit too aggressive. Now, Crota5 with all of the utility on a last-ditch effort will try to come through and make this 2v3 possible. Crota5's got the Tour de Force, got the Headhunter. Is it going to be enough? Atsu holding the line right now. Going to be teleporting in. They both aggress up. It's going to be B. The commit has happened.
30 seconds
The
left.
spike is ready to be planted, but Truman holds out here in Garden. Atsu and Crota5, are they ready?
One enemy
No.
remaining.
They take the win.
Defenders win.
I think Crota5 was a little bit unsuspecting of the fact that someone could in fact be in the garden. We see the full 180 turnaround to stare the barrel down onto B long, but unfortunately it was the wrong guess. And I think Wichita, they were a little bit in a dangerous position. They definitely clutched up there with Truman, but it was a difficult scenario because everyone were on solo angles. It could have gone either way, but regardless, congratulations to the Wichita Wolves for bringing it home. And that's going to be 1-for-1, Artie. It's not a best of 3 series. We just pick up that map, and we're going to be moving on to the next match after a short break. But before we go, Artie, any last thoughts before we toss it?
I gotta say, I was really convinced this was gonna be a super close match. Especially after we tied up the first half. Wichita just decided, like, hey, here we are. That's the game, and they just pulled all the way in. And I can see that my framing is completely getting got through here. So I think that we gotta reset this connection, but we'll see you after the break.